wisely.
Cool. So did you read about our first march, or what specific was it telling you about?
Yeah, I think the first march that was during the 1920s when you all marched on behalf of women's suffrage.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was one of the things that the role that Deltas played in social justice and trying to influence public policy is one of the things that I one of my biggest takeaways.
Cool.
But it's a lot of it's blurring together because I've read so much just in the last couple of days. It's good stuff.
I could imagine, yeah. Hi, everybody.
I guess everybody's on mute.
Or on mute. I was trying to do the virtual wave. But...
Yeah.
I think my goal here is to have my chat up here. Just in case there are questions. And I think I saw that Tony joined us. Is that correct?
Yes, Tony's here.
Tony, I'm gonna ask you to keep an eye on the Facebook Live in case there are any questions there.
Okay.
I can't get to it with my several screens. And we'll just give everybody a few more minutes before we get started, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I always tell myself to try to stop using guys. Just never works. Can everybody see my screen? I want to make sure I did this right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
I see it.
Great.
It looks really good, Magali.
Thank you.
Of course.
My computer won't let me use a virtual background.
Why not?
Oh.
I'm using my Surface, so it's literally telling me, hey, if you don't have a green screen, your computer's not good enough for it. I'm like, fair enough, but.
Gotcha.
Oh, I'll upgrade my tech soon. But in the meantime.
All right. I think we might have just about everybody that registered or planned to join us. I think I see about 18 people in the chat. So
that's great.
We can go ahead and get started, and anyone that is coming can just go ahead and join us. So hi, everybody. We'll do quick introductions today because I know there are some new names on the call. So we'll do introductions around the screen. Don't feel pressured to show your camera, but we would love to see all of your faces. So don't be afraid to show yourself as well. Hey, Shelby. So as you know, we are taking life virtual for a while. And we'll still continue our marketing outside the box as long as society allows before we can all be together again. And we switched our topic for the month of April just so that we can be more relevant to the time that we're in. So this entire month we'll be doing a session around marketing during the pandemic and how your business can do the best that you can during these times. So I'll start with quick introductions. I'll start with myself and then we'll go around the screen, basically your name. If you have a business, tell us what your business is or your company or organization, or if you're just here joining us because you saw it on Facebook or Eventbrite and thought it sounded cool. And then tell us what is going on in regards with your business in the pandemic, like the effect that it's had on you, whether it's good or bad. And it could be professional or personal that you choose to share. So I'll start. Most of you know I am Magali Epps. I serve as the interim executive director for Hustle Winston-Salem. We are an organization focused on inclusive entrepreneurship, and our goal is to focus on impacting systems, telling the stories of entrepreneurs, and coming up with solutions as it relates to the system and those stories and those entrepreneurs. I am a serial solopreneur, I like to say. I am the owner of Yacinth Event Services, which is a event planning firm. We do a lot of event solutions for businesses and nonprofits. I also recently started a new business, which is known as Sowing for Scythe, which is an oil aggregation company. And I would say that this pandemic has had major impacts on both businesses. As you know, when it comes to event planning, we are people. We like to be together and gathering. So a lot of those things have been put to a complete halt, and figuring out if we're going to move virtually, if we're just postponing, if we're canceling, things of that nature. And as it relates to the oil business, it's kind of put a pause on that because a lot of that also, at the stage that we're in, relies a lot on us going to businesses and trying to sign them up. So that has been put on a pause due to our stay-in order from the governor. So that's me. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
So you guys cannot see my face, but my name's Cameron. Nice to meet all of you again, and some new faces. My business is Sanctuary Gaming Lounge. It is a high-end current technology gaming facility that offers current games, current game consoles, the hardware, software, for all of those who wish to, play games and just get out of the house with like-minded individuals. Technically, it is Sanctuary Game Lounge, but we offer what is called a stream den. So for those that would like to be content creators, streamers, editors of any kind, they can use our facility, use our hardware, use our tech, for a flat, efficient, I'd say cost-effective price, and be taught how to use the programs, what to do, get pointers on how to, improve themselves. And they are given the option to, use our tech for themselves, for their own purposes, or they can work and contract with the business to make videos on our behalf, and we pay them as well. So it's sort of like a job for those that want to make a name for themselves in the gaming, esports, and entertainment industry of sorts. Technically speaking, I don't have a location, so this is all just awesome notes in my Batman notebook. But still, it is something that I'm planning on doing. I'm projected to, I'm trying to really open my doors before November, because we are potentially getting next generation consoles, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X in November. And if I can have my business open by the time those consoles come out, it will be perfect marketing and publicity to start up my business. In all fairness, technically speaking, if I had a location, the pandemic would not be affecting my business. It would be because on paper, it is a mass consolidation of people. It would be a large number of people in one confined area, which would be like a big no-no. However, due to the fact that a lot of, sports and television companies literally have no content to show on their channels, gaming and esports has actually gone on quite the rise, because that's all that's left. For those people that can't watch basketball on ESPN, they're watching 2K and they're watching WWE, but they're watching the game versions of it. So it's sort of like a realistic, virtualistic alternative. Even NASCAR is doing virtual racing. So technically gaming's doing well, but it's sort of like a double-edged sword in my case.
Thank you so much. 1 second before the next person goes. Leroy, can you hear me? Leroy? We're getting some background noise. Thank you. All right, who wants to go next?
I'm actually muted.
Hey y'all, I'm Shelby Newsom. I serve as a marketing and events coordinator for the Center for Creative Economy. We help creatives and artists basically turn this thing that they love creating into a business. I'm excited about this session because we need to figure out how we can continue to best serve our customers during this time, these strange times. And this is actually my first time attending Marketing Outside of the Box, even though it's, we was usually happening in the same building that I work in. I'm ashamed to say, but I'm really excited to be here and meet all of you.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Anybody? Alan, Tony? I'll start calling names.
Yeah, I'll go. First of all, no shame, Shelby. We're good. Let me first introduce Aixa. She is not able to do so, so she texted me and I offered to introduce her. Aixa Marie's Gift Basket is a new business that is starting. Actually, that part of the business is already in business. And so you can check her out in social media. She's very active, and expect to see a cute little boy with her in one of the pictures. She can customize gift baskets for whatever your needs are. She plans to open a brick and mortar location. Of course, the coronavirus is putting that on hold a little bit. She's a participant in the launch challenge, as well as Cameron. By the way, Cameron, use that in your branding, please. We're glad to have both of them. They are innovative initiators. They're in the 6th session of the launch challenge, which is a business accelerator. And we're happy to have both of them in the program. I'm Alan Younger. I'm the director of the Small Business Center, and I'm really glad to partner with Hustle and Flywheel to do marketing outside the box every week. What we do is help people to increase their business success, whether they're looking to start a new business or grow their existing business. And what we're doing during this period of time is providing as many resources as we can, and we're including them in our weekly newsletter, which has become a daily newsletter because additional resources keep popping up and small businesses need to know about them. And we also offer a number of virtual events like this one, so please check our website, and I'll give you the address in just a minute. And we also offer virtual business mentoring. And the last 2 weeks, we've had 20 appointments each week, and we have capacity to have even more. So if it would help you to talk to somebody who can assist you in pivoting and also assist you with dealing with a challenge that you may have that they may have dealt with before, don't hesitate to let us know. Our website is forsythtech.edu/SBC, and I'll put that in the chat in case you're interested. Thanks.
Thank you, Alan. I'm just going to start calling names so we can get through the introductions. I'm just going to go down this list. Ethan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ethan King, and I am the owner and lead photographer of Ethan King Photography, where I specialize in weddings, special events, corporate portraits, and also get to work alongside with Magali and Tony. And what was the question again? I know things that
how's the pandemic impacting you?
Well, as a photographer, no leads, meaning no one's going to come out. I can't take pictures of anybody unless I'm going around the area in my neighborhood and doing photo shoots, but that's not helping me as far as revenue stream. So that's one thing that is impacting me. And
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ethan. Marianne.
Hi, I'm Marianne Epps. I'm a life coach and and a mentor. I serve as a mentor for the Holler House, which is 9 to year-long stay in a house, women being introduced back into society. And I'm a life coach and mentor for them. And also for, I have a mentor in Forsyth County Jail. And the pandemic is affecting me. My business is really not off and running yet. I'm still learning. I was in the workforce for over 30 years at the hospital. So this is a new career for me. And so I'm taking this time prayerfully and all on the internet and gaining more knowledge and wisdom about coaching and about how to do life as a coach.
Thank you for joining us, Marianne. Leroy?
Hello, everyone. My name is Leroy Harrell, and I'm with BTG Tech Solutions. I'm a part of the Launch Challenge, and what I do is I help people solve problems. And my focus is mainly on healthcare professionals and small businesses. And the COVID-19 virus has actually afforded me the opportunity to speak to people who would normally be too busy to speak to me. And I've actually been able to get a lot more market research and find out what are some of the things that, keep small business owners or healthcare professionals up at night. What are some of the problems that they had prior to COVID-19? And so for me, with them being at home, it's actually, allowing me to do a lot more research so that when I actually do start my business, I have a greater knowledge base and an insight into a group of people that I would never be able to, I would have a lot harder time getting that information from.
Oh, that's a great positive out of all of this. Okay. Maurice, are you there?
Can you hear me?
All right, you want to go ahead and do your introduction?
All right, I'm Maurice Harris. I'm here with the Launch Challenge. My company is Robin Autopilot, which is a robotic lawnmower company. We are the Uber of lawnmowing. And the COVID-19 has affected my business, made it slower for the things that I'm working on.
Okay. Tracy?
Hey, how's everybody?
Hey.
I was finishing getting my son's lunch and him settled, and I was like, oh, Lord, it's past 12:30.
You want to introduce yourself?
Yes. So hi, everybody. I'm Tracy Williamson. I am part of the Launch Challenge, launching my independent health insurance agency and business. So, different parts of my business are up and different parts are down. So it just depends on, if I get a referral from somebody, it's usually an individual right now. I've helped several people who were just without insurance, and they were like, can I get something? Versus I'm really wanting to target small businesses this year. And that, I've lost a lot of traction with that. So a lot of accounts I was working with, they've kind of slowed down for me, but I can't complain. So,
Yeah. I imagine you're going to be needed a lot soon, though. We'll see. Let's see. We heard from Shelby. Shakira, are you there?
Hey, yes. Hey, everyone. I am Shakira, and I am the creator of Train to Relax and Uplift Your Soul, which is all about wellness services such as massage therapy, vinyasa, and aerial yoga for musicians and entertainers. COVID-19 has definitely put a damper on my business because I physically touch people with massage, and that is frowned upon right now. So I cannot do that. But that's pretty much me.
Thank you. No, I think we already heard from Misty, correct?
No, this is Misty. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name's Misty Matthews, and I'm here also with the president, David Stillman of the Yadkin Valley Chamber of Commerce. We're located in Elkin, North Carolina. We signed up for this to just learn a little bit more where we can better help our members promote and help their businesses through this time. We're always trying to find new ways to better serve our community and our members, and we're hoping this will help us a step further.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Brittany?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, you may hear some other people in the background, my kids, but I'm glad to be here. I am a life coach, also known as the Teen Choice Coach, but I coach parents and teenagers to make the best choices about their academics, health, and relationships. And my business online has been fine so far as some of the things I do virtually, but I also do speaking engagements for schools, churches, nonprofits. And so I've had 3 postponed speaking engagements due to the coronavirus. So that was a little sad, but I still have more coming up, and hopefully those events will be like rescheduled instead of canceled.
Yeah, I hope so too. Christy?
Howdy.
Hey.
So I'm glad to be here. I tuned in because I want to learn about how people are pivoting. And I'm writing a couple of blog articles. So my name is Christy Staten. I run Creative Force. It is a branding, design, graphic design, website design, creative service. But I do a lot of marketing services in that realm. And my mantra this week is, if you think you can't do anything, at the very least, do something helpful. And that ties into your marketing strategy. You know, how can you still do what you do? You may not get paid, but at least you're branding yourself, and at least you're marketing, you're staying front of mind, top of mind with people that you're connected to. And how can you be helpful? And I have a lot of examples, which I'm not going to go into, but what I'm doing is curating a number of stories to put them into some blog articles, and then I'll distribute those at various sources online. So I'm here to just hear other people's stories and find out how they are being helpful or thriving. Because, you know, this is a real time for opportunity. And my other mantra is action over anxiety. So when you have a goal, and when you have something that you're moving towards, you know, put your mind at ease. We're making progress. Keep making progress. That's all I can say.
I love everything that you shared, Christine. You'll see why throughout the presentation. Let's go on. I think we have 2 more people, if I'm correct. Is it Allegra? Am I pronouncing that right?
It's Allegra.
Allegra, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that's okay. I get kind of used to it. I'm new to this. I was actually looking online for something locally through Cleveland County, and I saw this one, so I thought I might as well join. Allegra Wilson, and I guess owner designer of Allegra Nicole Designs, which is a jewelry. I don't have a storefront or anything, but I belong to different galleries or gift shops that are now closed. So that's how it's impacting me. Mm-hmm. One of them is in Shelby. It's Buffalo Creek Gallery, and that's a co-op member gallery. So we're not necessarily, we're not paid, but we all run it together. There's 13 of us. Okay. So we get a lower commission. Then we have about 50 consignees in it as well. And so we're closed. We're trying to still keep an online presence, but we don't have anything online to sell stuff. And then I belong to a Southern Art Society in Kings Mountain, and that's a nonprofit. And that one I have stuff in the gift gallery, and I was a part of a current exhibit that is closed, which was called I Am Women. So they're trying to at least put that online for now. But so I guess why I'm here is to try to figure out for the gallery, you know, how we can move forward. And then because I'm an active member also at Southern Art Society, I'm trying to bring back ideas for them as well, because they're not as so we're more active for Buffalo Creek, but Southern Arts is a little bit they're a little bit quieter as far as their presence online. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a studio above the gallery, so I have a place to work, like outside of being closed at the gallery. So other than that, my issue too is I want a grant from ASC, the regional art grant. Mm-hmm. And I basically have a commitment for October to have, I was doing a signature line. So I have a commitment for October to try to, you know, have like my online presence, my signature line done.
Okay.
So it's a heavy workload.
Yeah. Well, it's a good way to keep you busy during this time.
Yeah.
All right, and we have Tony and Keisha. So Tony.
Oh, sorry. Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah,
Oh,
we can hear you.
Hi, I am Tony Barnes. I am the Associate Director of Hustle Winston-Salem. I am also an entrepreneur with a few businesses and projects going on. Which is a visual production company called 2020 Productions. And with that, I have a visual artist collective that I'm putting together. And then I'm also offering business strategy under a company called Building the Boss. I am here, to support Hustle, obviously, and then also how the pandemic is affecting my other businesses is I kind of like it in a way. I know it's kind of weird, but I just feel like it's challenging us to think of different ways to execute business, and I'm all about strategy, obviously. So just ways that I can do things virtually in my businesses, and I'm excited about that. Also, if you guys want the presentation, once it's all done, please email hustlewsinfo@gmail. I will be putting that in the inbox, but just wanted to let you guys know that now. And we're also doing a 30-day challenge, which starts today. So follow us on all of our social medias, which is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And we'll be posting the rules shortly after we're done with Marketing Outside the Box.
Okay, and then two more people that's on the call but won't introduce themselves for reasons beyond their control. I think they're the sound around them. We have Anna Mason, who's with Flywheel. So she helps a lot with us figuring out this tech stuff, but Flywheel is also one of our partners as we put this program on. And then we have Keisha Ward on the call with us. She is the owner and she runs Opulence Marketing Group. She'll actually be with us at the end of this series. So I think she's just joining to get acclimated with who we have on the call with us to learn more about the different businesses as she caters her presentation for the end of this. So thank you all. I hope I didn't miss anyone. We'll jump right into it. If I did miss you, please jump in and just let me know. But if not, we'll just jump into the presentation. If you have questions during the presentation, we do have a few eyes in the chat. Tony, Alan, they can let me know if somebody put a question in the chat. But don't be afraid to just unmute yourself and just ask me. I am really good at interrupting others, so I don't mind when people interrupt me, okay? All right, so of course this series is pivoting during the pandemic. Marketing Outside the Box is a session that we do every single week, as Alan mentioned earlier. In 2020, we started doing monthly series. It kind of helps us better cater our presentations and be able to give you a little bit at a time as opposed to dumping so much information all at once. So this month we're focusing on the pandemic, like I said. So just jumping right into it, that's the series right there. As I mentioned, we'll be talking about a few things. Today we'll talk a little bit about the personal touch during this time. Over the next 2 weeks, we'll focus a bit more on specific templates and things that you can use on social media itself. Tony herself will lead that presentation, and then I'll come back with you the third week as we talk about looking forward. And then the last 2 weeks, as we talk about reputation management or rebuilding and rebranding, we'll have Keisha Ward from Opulence Marketing Group with us, and she'll lead us through the end of this series. And you can, like Tony said, you can join us on social media, hustle_WS on Instagram, as well as on Twitter. It's the same thing on Facebook, just minus the underscore, just hustle WS, and you'll find us. And this whole series we're focused on, just like something Christy said, is taking action. During this time with the pandemic, the first thing that you want to make sure is that you take action from the very beginning to the end. And we'll give you a few strategies and tips and tactics to do that. Those things will teach you how to adapt with, literally daily changes, how to engage with your audience. And when I say daily changes, I mean by the hour. We see how things are changing crazy. And then ways to maintain and manage your business during this time as we figure out what the next phase is for all of our businesses. So the first thing that we want you to keep in mind during this entire process as you try to keep the personal touch during this time is to put humanity first. You put it over your product, you put it over your service. So your business comes second to humans, to human life, to everything. And ways to do that, first and foremost, is you want to first go ahead and communicate. A lot of you hopefully already have done this, but if you haven't, you want to make sure that you communicate with your audience, no matter how small or large your audience is. They need to know about your business during this time. So you want to go ahead and communicate any operational updates. That's as simple as any changes in your hours, even if that means you're closed. Everybody knows we're closed, but do your customers know that you are closed? You want to communicate that. You want to communicate any limited services, or if you're expanding services based on your business during this time. And if you are staying in business during this time, share with your customers any safety protocols that you're taking so that they can feel confident in you. And you don't only want to just send this in an email, you want to spread this across all your platforms. So put it on your website, share it on your social media, put it in an email. The next thing, Google and Yelp is where a lot of people forget to update some of their operational things, but that's the first place many of us are looking. Many times, even before we go to your website, we'll just Google something, and whatever Google tell us is what people will go by. So you want to make sure that Google has the most updated information for you as well. And there are links. When I get a moment, I'll drop it in the chat, but there are links with a Google link where you can just go and update your business on Google. But when we're talking about communication as well, you want to be mindful of any information overload that you're giving your customers. You share this communication, but you don't need to beat them across the head with it, because this time is heavy for a lot of people. You put it on these different channels, and trust me, they'll find it, okay? Something else when you're talking about putting humanity first is think about your messaging. You want to be in tune with what any of your local government or even the federal government, whatever they're suggesting. I put the example of social distancing there. Now we're in stay-in orders in a lot of different locations. You want to put that in your messaging in a way that your audience understands. So if you are, I don't know, a barber, or if you said, I heard life coach on phone, whatever those different areas is, communicate with your audience in terms and in words that resonates with your business. So you don't have to just copy and paste the language from the government, because most times, most people are not reading all of those words. For those of us who come to marketing outside the box, often you hear me say it all the time, people will not read. So if you can find a creative way to communicate the message to your audience and keep your business in mind at the same time, do so. So even if that means creating a quick image to get the message across, do so. And then also going back to something Christy mentioned, during this time when you're thinking about putting humanity first, you want to give back. And I'm not talking about monetary. If you can give back monetarily, great, but that's not the only way to give back. You can find ways to give back to your community. You can find ways, if you have employees, give back to your employees. So that could be in the form of, I'm not letting you go. You can still work from home, and these are the new parameters that we're working within. Giving back to your community. Let's assume that you make products and you have the accessibility to make, I don't know, masks. You can create those and decide that your business is going to create masks to share out to the local hospital, the local clinic, or even the local CVS or Walgreens, or whatever the case may be. And you make sure you share what it is that you are doing during this time to give back. We're trying to keep as many people in the homes as possible, but if you know that there is a local food bank that can use some extra hands, and as long as you know you're safe, you know that they're safe, and you all are practicing the 6 feet distances and things of that nature. If you want to go out and help and let them know that your company is also helping in this way, you can do that. And once again, you share that in your marketing tactics. So some things that you should do during this time. And there are 50,000 more things that could be on this list. But just some quick things that I want to run through that you should do during this time. Number one, obviously, we should all re-examine and re-evaluate our marketing strategy during this time if you haven't already. And there are so many different ways to do that, and we'll talk a little bit about that. You want to ramp up your social media. I mentioned earlier that next week, we're going to specifically give you templates for things that you can have on social media during this time. But you also want to start building your content. You know that I truly believe in content. Content is king when it comes to marketing. So if it means taking a week while you're at home to create 2 months of content, do it. Or 30 days of content, do it. Because you're going to have to constantly engage with your audience right now. And as we know, social media and even emails, you can easily drown. So you have to get creative with your content. How can you make your content stand out? So you want to think about that and build that up. You want to use this time to focus on your current customers. New customers are great. So I'm not telling you to ignore the fact that you can build your customer base during this time. And we'll talk a little bit about that, not this week, but we'll talk a little bit about that later. But you don't want to lose your current customers. As a matter of fact, your current customers is who can help you get more customers. So focus on them with your marketing tactic. Remind them of your product or your service during this time and how it can benefit them. Once again, these are the people that you're making sure they are aware of the things that you are doing during the pandemic to show that your company cares. Obviously, you want to create virtual opportunities. Whether that means you're going to now do online sessions, or you're going to have one-on-one meetings via phone, via video conference. Are you going to create YouTube videos to share with your audience? Whatever the case may be, you want to start creating those opportunities for your business, because this isn't ending in a week. This isn't ending in a month. So you're either going to have to get accustomed to that life for a while, and a while could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, but either way, you want to get accustomed to that so that you don't lose the momentum with your business. If you have a product that you sell, you might want to start considering inexpensive delivery options. So if you had a brick and mortar and your business isn't operating right now because of the executive orders from the governor, is it possible that your clients may still want your products and you can still deliver those products to those clients? What are your options to deliver those products? Something else that you want to make sure that you're during this time is being honest with your audience. Everyone knows that we are all human. So you're kind of scared, kind of nervous, it's okay to let them know. If you want to make sure that you acknowledge what we're going through and don't try to just sell. So just be honest with them and say, hey, these are tough times. These are unprecedented times. I really don't know what I'm going to do. Or get your audience to help you. I need you to help me figure out my next step. So just be honest with your audience. During this time, you hear us talk about this all the time. You definitely want to take care of yourself. Whatever self-care means for you, whatever that looks like to make sure that your mental health is intact during this time, you want to do it, because we all know if you're suffering, your business will suffer. So take care of you so that you can take care of your business during this time. And you definitely want to spread positivity. In your marketing tactics, 6 months from now, you don't want to be known as the business that during the pandemic, all you did was spread negative thoughts or negative opinions or whatever the case may be. You want to use this time to be as positive as possible, not just for yourself, but for your customers. Trust me, there's enough negativity in the world going on around this. And be sure that if you decide to share resources as it relates to the pandemic, that you are sharing relative resources. Again, keep in mind that this pandemic is changing almost by the hour. We're learning something new minute after minute. So keep in mind, if you share something that you saw 2 days ago on day 4 or whatever, it may no longer be relevant. It was relevant during that time. So if you're going to still share it, be sure to say, as of this date, this was the case. Or if it's 2 days later, maybe just not share it. So just keep that in mind and be mindful of the resources you're pulling. Of course, we know that the CDC and the World Health Organizations are safe bets, but you might not want to pull every article you see on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on Twitter or wherever the case may be to share from your business accounts. Just be mindful of that. And then you want to reassure that if you're still operating, you want to reassure your customers that if they interact with your company, that you've taken all the appropriate and necessary cautions, that you want to make sure they know that your business, if it is something that you're delivering, these are the steps that you've taken to sterile whatever it is that you're delivering, or if you're still open and they can come into you, make sure that they know all the steps, make sure that you are taking necessary measures. I think it was at Target that I saw where they've actually marked X's on the floor to show the 6 feet differences, so you know when you're too close to someone. So if you have a brick and mortar location, or if you're running a small business that is still in operation during this time, those are just simple steps you can take to make sure that people are seeing that you're taking this just as serious, even though you're still operating, okay? Some things that you should not do during this time. Obviously, number one, and you can see the dog is pleading with his eyes, please don't risk anybody's life. Like it's not worth it. So if your business, using the term that the government is using, if it's not essential to everyday life, ask yourself, is it worth the risk to be operating in the way that you're operating, okay? I mean, don't risk your life either. The other thing is you don't want to go silent during this time. You don't want to not communicate. You don't want to be the one business not saying anything on social media or not sharing anything. This is not the time to go silent on your customers. If you need to take some mental health days, that's perfectly fine. But come back to your audience, come back to your community so they know that your business is operating. Do not send daily emails. Why am I saying don't send daily emails? During this time, everybody is sending emails all day, every day. If you get to a point where you are sending daily emails, you can trust and believe that your customers will eventually stop reading it if they think that you're just pretty much sending them the same thing over and over. Now, if you have a business where you have the option for customers to choose to receive a daily email or receive a daily message and they've selected that, I'm not talking to you when I say don't send daily emails. But if you're just sending a daily email just to send it, you're likely going to lose your audience. They could definitely become overwhelmed with that. So keep that in mind. Also with your messaging, don't oversaturate it with all things connected to the virus. On social media, there are so many people that have muted the hashtag coronavirus. They've muted COVID-19. These are just terms that they're tired of seeing. So if you're always tagging something with that, there's a chance that your audience won't see it. Also in emails, a lot of people are having those, they've flagged those words to go straight to spam. So keep in mind, even though you're trying to get a message across, you may not always want to continuously use those same words. I understand that sometimes it will be necessary to use COVID-19 or use coronavirus or things like that, but just try not to oversaturate your message with it. With your products and services at this time, don't take advantage of your customers by negatively capitalizing on this time. And by that, I mean, don't mark up your prices unnecessarily. If you have an Amazon account, you've probably already seen it, where the most simple items on Amazon are 4 times their price. It's unheard of. And there's no need to do that because you will lose your customers. You'll lose their trust and you will lose them. So try not to do that during this time. And I won't say it again, don't spread negativity, that's obvious. As we're talking about emails and your messaging and your communication, I can't tell you how many emails that I've seen that have something similar to this. Try not to say stuff like this. Working from home, don't let the coronavirus infect your productivity. This really isn't the time to think about that. It comes across sometimes very tasteless, and you don't want to lose your customers during this time with messaging like that. It goes back to trying to stay positive. Matter of fact, if you want to send a message about working from home, maybe just stop at that point right there, working from home. You don't really need to go into that second part of the message. if it's something that you're trying to communicate from that point. The other thing is you don't want to sacrifice your quality right now. So whether you provide a service or whether you provide a product, you still want to do it at level 10. If we're on a scale from 1 to 10, you still want to do it at level 10. If you're doing a video presentation, or if you're doing a one-on-one, or if you're creating a product that you send to your clients, whatever the case may be, you don't want them to feel like you didn't think it was important enough to still provide them with the best quality service or product and put the coronavirus as your excuse to do so. Before I continue, anybody have any questions or want to add anything that I left out of the do list and the don't list that you think should be on there? Anybody want to add anything? And I'm not watching the chat. I'm assuming Alan or Tony is.
I didn't see any questions in the chat. I saw everyone sharing their contact information, which is good.
And we're good on Facebook as well.
Okay, sounds good. And then here are just some questions as you begin to set your business up to be an online business, essentially, for at least the next 2 months or the next month or so. Some questions you want to start to ask yourself. Some of you, this may not apply to because you're already there, and some of you, this may be too far off the grid for you right now, but you somewhere in the middle, most of the businesses on the call would need to start thinking about some of these questions. So I'll start with the question that I bolded because I think it's the most important question on this list, and that's how can my brand connect with how people are feeling and experiencing COVID-19? So as you're starting to re-strategize and rethink about your marketing techniques, that's one of the main things that you want to do. Remember, marketing is about people and how you connect with those people. So how can your brand, how can your business, how can your company connect with people and how they are feeling right now or how they are experiencing it? A great thing you want to think about when you're considering that, a lot of us are local businesses. We're local to our communities, which is great. So you can use that one of two ways. Use that to your advantage and focus on local and how you can impact your community, how your local community experiencing it. But also this time allows our brand, honestly, to reach a larger market. People everywhere are on the internet trying to figure out things that they can entertain them. I'm a prime example. I have a conference call today at 2:30. It's overseas. I never even thought that I would join somebody's, and it's for solopreneurs. I never thought that I would think to look at that, but all my searches are just now global. So you can kind of expand your brand during this time as well, to figure out how you can connect with people. Some other questions, more operational questions you want to ask yourself during this time is, will my business wait it out? Meaning, are you going to decide during this time that you're not going to operate business in any way, shape, or form? And if that's the case, how do you keep customers or how do you keep potential customers connected to your business? So think about that from your marketing strategy. Or will your business just decide to minimize operations to a certain degree and reduce your efforts? So think about those things. Does my business have a reputable online presence, an intuitive and easy to use online interface? So what I've noticed a lot of times with new businesses or with solopreneurs or entrepreneurs that haven't really accelerated yet with their business is that the online presence, as far as social media, is always great or somewhere between good and great. And their website is either non-existent or it might be a Wix site that's really, really hard to navigate. So I would suggest during this time that you take some time. You can keep the free Wix site if that works best for your budget, but take some time to really play with your Wix or whatever other platform you're using. It doesn't have to just be Wix, whatever platform you're using for a website, and find a way to make it as interactive and easy as possible. All of these sites allow for that. It just takes a lot of your personal time. And I venture to say that right now, a lot of us have that personal time to take 4 hours a day to figure out one aspect of this website, but your customers will appreciate that. Ask yourself, do you have a social media campaign that engage with your customers? A lot of times I see businesses, because it's just one or two people, they have automated systems running their social media. They'll have something posting every day or every other day, and it's just kind of automatically set that way. Have you updated that, or is this now time to update that to make sure that it's catering to this time? You want to keep that in mind. And you might want to stop the automatic situation that you have set up so that you can make it more personal for your customers. How can you build a steady stream of customers with brand loyalty advertising? I won't go too much into this because this is something that Keisha will talk about later on in the series, but I will say that during this time, you want your customers to remember you. You want them to, if they need something, or if they need someone to talk to, depending on your product or service, that you're at the top of the list. You have an opportunity right now where a lot of the big names, big companies, no matter what industry you're in, a lot of them are not in a position to serve individuals because they're so used to serving the masses. And you have an opportunity where you can capitalize on that. So make sure that you're connecting to individuals that are already familiar with your brand, and what can you do to make them stay loyal to your brand? Is it giving them a special discount during this time? Or is it offering personable, whatever? I don't know what it would be, because it varies based on businesses, but just think about how can you provide those opportunities for your customers right now. And certain things like that. Those last two questions are very much connected to your website. Once again, do you have a site that if I Google it right now, if I just Google life coaches in my area, will Google have you at the top of my search list or somewhere in the top 3 to 4 of my search list? If not, this might be the time that you dedicate some time to making sure that a customer that's looking for your services or your product can easily find you in your area. See, and like I said, there are so many other questions that you can ask yourself, but these are some simple things. How does one block numbers? Is that a question for me, Marianne? Sorry. Marianne, are you there?
Yes, you said something about people being able to block hashtags.
Mm-hmm. They mute them. So social media allows you to mute hashtags.
Okay.
Twitter, for example, there's an option where it says mute, and you tell them what you want to mute. And if I want to mute COVID-19, I'll put hashtag COVID-19, meaning anything that has that hashtag won't show up on my Twitter timeline.
Okay.
I don't know if Instagram does that.
Okay. Facebook?
Facebook isn't really as pressed on hashtags as Twitter is. Here's the thing that you have to recognize about Twitter, though. I mean, I won't go too deep into this. In my opinion, in my real opinion, Twitter run the hashtag world. Okay. So if you Google a hashtag, it's likely pulling it from Twitter before anywhere else.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. Did I answer your question, Marianne?
Yeah. Yes.
And they can do the same thing, not necessarily with hashtag, but just with certain topics. From emails, you can send emails to spam just based on the title. So you want to keep that in mind, based on certain words in the title, excuse me. So quickly, I want to go over some things that you can try to do during this time. I know we're running low on time. We have about 7 minutes left, but I'm almost done. So some quick solutions possibly during this time, depending on your business. The key here is you don't want to lose the personal touch between you and your customers or potential customers. So this is a time to create a YouTube video or activate your YouTube channel. Most people forget that they have a YouTube channel because they're not using it. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube channel. And even if you don't have a Gmail account, you can create a YouTube channel. But most of you already have a YouTube channel. It's just a matter of starting to upload things on that YouTube to get people more engaged with you. And let's just say you are a beautician, and obviously you're probably not doing people hair at this time, or you're not cutting hair, or barber, you're not cutting hair at this time. There are a lot of people at home that don't know how to do their hair, don't know how to cut their hair. Maybe you upload videos to show them, to stay connected to them. If you're still trying to find a way to make some profit with things like that, though, an idea is maybe you don't show all the steps. Maybe you can show something like a teaser, maybe a 2-minute teaser to say, if you're interested in purchasing my package to show you how to do this at home, this is the link, this is the cost, and that's what it is. Keep in mind, that's a very hard thing to do. I know I'm giving that as a solution, but it's very hard because people can YouTube so many free things. So why should they pay for yours? And that's the marketing question you ask yourself. Why would they pay to get mine? What is it that I can focus on? Is it that I focus on the fact that I'm in your community? So if something go really, really wrong, you can actually get in contact with me, or whatever the case may be. But you can do that. You can also use this time to put your business more on Facebook Live and Instagram Live, things like that. I will say, try your best to not do this too much. Everybody is getting on live now. Everybody is getting on live now. Your friends, businesses, all of that. So a lot of people, once again, are becoming overwhelmed by it. So you want to be very mindful of how often you're doing it. You also want to be mindful of the times. So if most people are doing lives in the evening, and when I say most people, you want to look at your industry. Pay attention to your industry. What are your competitors doing? Things like that. Whatever they're doing likely is a time for you to try to do the opposite. Meaning, if everybody in the event industry, for me, if everybody in the event industry is doing a Instagram Live around the 5 to 7 p.m. window, maybe I want to attract people during the 1 to 3 p.m. window in my industry. Just so that I'm not drowning in competition with everybody else. We see that a lot right now happen with those in the music industry, DJs. They have certain times throughout the day that all of them are on Instagram or Facebook Live. So yeah, keep that in mind. Also, if you provide a service, is it possible for you to provide your service via webinar? Marketing outside the box is a prime example. Is it possible if you do mentoring, or if you do life coaching, or anything that involves interaction with people, for you to now still offer those services via video conferencing? You can create the link, you can send them the link, you can make it a private link, whatever the case may be. And there's a plethora of options out there. You can use Zoom like we're using today. Zoom allows you to do it free for 40 minutes if you don't want to pay for an account. You can also use FaceTime if you have an iPhone. That way it's already something you have access to if your client also have that. You can use Google Hangouts. I can go on and on. There are so many options for you to continue to engage and interact and provide the services that you provide. Last month we did our focus was on podcasts and vlogs. This would be the perfect time to use that information that Open Media Lab shared with all of you. And if it's something that you're still not too comfortable with, it's perfect time to reach out to Eric at Open Media Lab to say, hey, I think I want to communicate with my audience with a vlog, or I want to start a podcast where I do a podcast once a week or something like that. Can you help me? Also, during this time, keep in mind that a lot of local shops are still operating. A lot of local businesses are still operating. So is it an opportunity, if you have products, to approach them, if you haven't already, to place your products in their shops? It's harder with bigger names, so it's harder to get a Walmart or a Target or Publix to put your products in their store. But for Winston-Salem, for example, you have the downtown bodega. We have, I could probably think of maybe 3 other stores, not in a downtown location. One is a clothing store, things of that nature, where people are coming in and out, and you could potentially have your products, because you're dealing with just one decision maker versus a hierarchy corporation that may be able to place your products in their store. Also, there are a lot of local delivery services. We see that, with Amazon, someone may order your products. Let's just say they can order it on Amazon or something like that. Amazon are pushing back non-essential deliveries 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out. But if you have something local, here, once again, in Winston-Salem, we have Honeybee Grocery, which is a delivery service. We have, I can't remember. Is it Swipe By? I believe Swipe By. And they're not a delivery service, but they've used this time to turn into a delivery service. Swipe By is actually, they would park in restaurants to bring food out to you. But now, because of the pandemic, they've pivoted where they're actually providing deliveries. And I put an asterisk by house visits, because once again, you want to practice and you want to stay true to what our government is providing to us as our necessary steps, as far as social distancing and things like that. But if you are in an industry, for example, once again, I'll go with a barber or a nail tech or something like that. If you're in an industry where and I say this, but I'm saying this very carefully, and you know that you're safe, and you know that the one person that your customer that you're serving, that they're safe as well. And if it's something that you all want to agree on to do, that's fine. Once again, I'm not pushing this option out there, but it's still an option. And then let's say, for example, that I don't know, maybe you teach yoga. You can still do your social distancing sessions. You can, not just virtually, you can maybe do groups of 5, meet you at a park, y'all stay 6 feet apart, and you can still teach your classes or whatever the case may be. So you want to keep that in mind. And then product or service alignment during this time. So there are still few people going to gas stations. I don't think she's on the call today, but we have one of our businesses, her big thing is that her business is focused on making sure you no longer text and drive because of the experiences that she had. And that's her book, and everything that she does is catered towards that. This would be the perfect time to actually print out a flyer and put it at a gas station, because that's one of the few places that that people are still going. So maybe it makes sense for you to communicate that to the audience that is driving at that time in her particular case. Did I do this? How did I do this? Do y'all see that? Oh, whatever, that's weird. And those are just some examples and some solutions. Before we go into next week, are there any questions? Yeah, I think more effective measures need to be put into place. I agree, Angela. I think social distancing is ineffective, but if it's the one thing that they're giving us right now, I think we kind of have to. I agree, Leroy. It's ineffective, but it's the only solution we have right now. I want to say that I don't think businesses, now how you feel individually is fine, but as a business, I don't think it's the best practice for your business to disregard the order. Does that make sense, Leroy?
Yeah, I saw that comment from me, and I didn't say that.
Oh, that wasn't you that said that?
I mean, it says that it's me, but I tell you, I didn't say that.
Oh, we might have a hacker. I heard that Zoom have a few hackers.
Okay, yeah, because I heard the ding, and I went and I looked, and I was like, I didn't write that.
Okay. I've heard that Zoom nationwide, not even just nationwide, globally, they're experiencing a few hackers. So maybe we have a hacker in here. I'm glad to hear that, Ms. Haskins. So just want to give you guys a quick update. I know we're a little after 1:30, and I like to be respectful of people's time. So next week, we are going to go into specific templates for your social media platform. So we'll have things for you as it relates to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We won't have examples for like TikTok, but we may have some suggestions for you for TikTok. And We are going to try to maybe use 2 of the businesses that's on the call with us. So whatever 2 businesses email us first at that email address that you see there, we'll use you in the templates that we create for next week's presentations. But yeah, so next week we're going to focus on how you can move onward during this time from a social media standpoint. You want it on Snapchat? Is that what you're asking? Leroy, is that not you again? That's not you that just asked that?
Yeah, that sounds very un-Leroy of him.
Yeah, that's not me.
That is so weird. Okay.
I kid you not.
I believe you. That's just so crazy. That's insane. It may
if we don't mind, could I make a comment or another announcement, if anything, before we go?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I very much agree with the creating forms of content that we can release on social media, and the great quote of that humans don't read, people don't read. Yes, they don't. They do not. So I just wanted to put that out there for those that were wanting to try and do something different. Even though my business is sort of like not on hold, but like just working through logistics and information. If y'all would like graphics, short animations, even like a video stuff, I do have extensive knowledge in graphic design and like photo manipulation, whether it's through Photoshop, Clip Studio, and a couple other programs, as well as video editing, both linear and non-linear. So meaning very simple and then a bit more complex. So if anybody did want some quick stuff, to put for their websites or social media, if you wanted just like a different kind of picture that was unique for you and your specific reasoning behind it, by all means, feel free to shoot me a message or give me or email me or anything like that. I'd be more than happy to with the large amounts of free time that I have.
Did you already drop your email address in the chat, Cam?
I did. Yes, okay. I did. So I'll put that back in there just so that everyone can see it again, like last minute. Okay. But yeah, and if anyone would like any kinds of pictures, whether it's anything at all or any kinds of graphics for their website or for their social media posts, if you want like a new spitballing, if Leroy wanted a new picture for his business or just something to really grab the attention while he's posting, I'll be more than happy to do that for y'all. And in all fairness, I just use it for my portfolio, or maybe like a small fee just to get just to get assets and resources, because those things aren't necessarily cheap. But I mean, that's pretty much it.
And that's wonderful, Cam. Thank you so much for offering that.
Of course.
And that's the exact type of thinking you have to have during this time to ensure that your business still survives. So I applaud you and I support you. We might need to talk with you too.
By all means, I'd be more than willing to.
Hey, we're getting ahead. Be careful putting your number in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are there any questions or comments before we end the session for the day? Any other questions or comments?
Yes, that was a beautiful slide presentation. How did you design that?
Thank you.
Zooming in.
Huh?
It looked like you would double click and it would zoom in on your presentation.
Yeah, I'm using Prezi. Have you heard of Prezi?
No, that's pretty sweet. It looks like a giant poster.
So if you go to Prezi, prezi.com, it create wonderful presentations for free.
And it's free, yeah. And it's so awesome.
Yeah. So next week, hopefully you'll join us. It's the same link every week this month. We'll send out email reminders. So if you register, we send out email reminders, so you'll get it directly to your email. But we hope that you'll join us again next week. And we'll have, we might do more than 2 people if more than 2 people email us.
I want you to know that is not
don't want to overwhelm ourselves, huh?
That is not me writing.
Yeah, no, I see it.
I figured right now that there's 2 different conversations going on. It's really strange. That's why I'm rushing this off.
Okay, I got my hands on it.
Be safe, and I hope to talk to everybody next week.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
And I'm sorry for the comments of where we're at.
Oh,
Hey, Magley, just wanted to say great job with the presentation, but also wanted to say unlike last week, nobody sent me an email or a text saying that they had the wrong link. So it worked out wonderfully.
Yeah,
And
last
everybody
week,
had the right link.
people who had the wrong link, I think it was actually my fault. In the email that I sent out, the right link was in the email, but one of the links in the email had the wrong link. And I think that everybody was just clicking that one link. So it was, I think it was my fault.
Okay. But it worked out just fine because we had 21 or more people on this call, so that was a good number.
Yeah.
And certainly reached some people that were in other counties. And Marianne Epps, I'm glad to see you. I hadn't seen you in months.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, so we've got a couple things going on tomorrow. Check our website, and then we've got, I think, 4 events next week, 4 or 5 events next week on our website. So if there's anything that's helpful, take advantage of it. It's good to see you again.
Yes, thank
So
you.
Leroy, you see there's another Leroy there, right?
I do.
That's Maurice.
Oh.
That's too.
Yeah, they
2
just.
Maurices and 2 Leroy.
I think this is a hack.
It is.
I'm gonna
So he
remove
just
him.
left. Look, he just left and turned into Maurice. Now there's 3 Maurices.
Yeah.
Well, no, I kicked them out. I removed them.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy to me.
How strange that is.
Yeah, they were talking as you was a moment ago, Alan.
They were what?
They were talking as you.
Oh, really? I missed that one. Let me go in the chat.
They said, Alan, are you trying to sit on the porch later?
I heard on
And then Alan, they said this meeting sucked, to be honest.
Yeah, like that sounds like me. My goodness.
So yeah, that's Zoom has to figure it out. I read an article literally just yesterday about Zoom accounts being hacked.
Yeah,
I didn't think it would happen to us, but here we go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For open,
I'll go ahead and stop the live stream on Facebook.
It is